Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel and happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
Very excited today because we have gotten the tiniest little occupants for our tiniest tank.
This tank was absolutely tiny. We revealed it a while back, maybe a few months ago. It is around a quarter gallon. Now you may be asking yourself, you really can't put living things in a quarter-gallon tank. That's not necessarily true, thanks to our channel sponsor, Flip Aquatics.
Yay.
They supplied us with some really interesting inhabitants for a micro tank. If you're interested in anything nano-related, shrimp, fish, they are a fantastic source. I'm going to put their website down in the description below. Very much appreciate their support. So we had this tank set up, as you mentioned, and tell us a little bit about what we are looking at here.
Well, this is how we set it up originally. I had lots of fun, used very small little rocks, some Inhabitants Nano Petite, which I don't really call it that because it's actually much smaller. I grow a lot of Inhabitants, what I call micro, because it's even tinier than Inhabitants Nano Petite. So went with something very basic. There we go. It was really cute, but you know, then we wound up breaking it down, and then I couldn't decide what to do with it, so it sat there for a while.
And now, we didn't plan this. This was not part of the plan where we were going to start loading up our office area where we said when we got the floors redone, no tanks upstairs, and it's just falling apart. That plan is falling apart.
Yeah.
And now we have tank number 2. Now, granted, it's a quarter gallon. It's like a cup of coffee or something. I don't know.
It is. It's 5 inches across, like 5.5 inches across, and like 3 inches deep. So cute.
Here's the tank. Talk about what we did here. What did you do with this tank?
Well, first of all, we decided to put it upstairs in the office because somebody, Jason, was really jealous. And he said, how come you have a tank and I don't have a tank? And I said, get your own tank. I don't know. And then we're all thinking, hey, let's do a tank. Well, we decided when Flip calls up, we're like, oh, you can have the tiny tank. I'm like, as long as it's close enough to me because it's my tiny tank. Well, it really wouldn't work there, so it wound up next to mine. So it's actually Clear Bob's pets are in the tank. It's Clear Bob's tank. That's fine.
Clear Bob has a tank. That's awesome. So what are the inhabitants of this tank?
They're so cute. They're called micro Thai crabs, and they're about the size of a pencil eraser.
They're actually really hard to see, and one of the things that you have to understand is as I shot this video, I have a macro lens on my camera, and I had to bust that thing out, which basically magnifies the image so that we could see them. But what I tried to do was pan back a little bit so you could see just how incredibly tiny they are. There are 3 of them in that tank, and they're really small. Now, if you're sitting right in front of the tank, you can see them, but if you are at all, a few feet away, there is no way you're going to see these things. So very small inhabitants for a very small tank.
Do you want to know their names?
They have names.
You didn't even ask.
That's because normally I wouldn't name little tiny things like that.
There's 3 of them. So you'd think, hey, Larry, Moe, and Curly? No. Larry, Daryl, and his other brother, Daryl.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a blast from the past. Now, how many of you know that reference?
Right?
Wait,
Do you know that?
This is my brother, Daryl. This is my other brother. I'm Larry.
I'm Larry. This is my brother Daryl. This is my other brother Daryl.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And bonus points if you know the innkeeper's wife's name. You don't even know it, do you?
No, because who knows that? Oh, wow. Okay. Now I know. All right. So what did you do with the Aquascape? Because you changed some things up. And why did you do that?
For miniature lovers, I was just like, oh, what am I going to do? So many choices. So many choices. I went with my favorite black sand as a base.
Shocking.
I know, it is. Well, you have these spiderwood, which we have, I grab them by the handfuls when we find them by sale.
Flick those things around my face.
But, you know what? I have a love-hate with the relationship with these things because a lot of them are really creepy looking. They look like characters from like Men in Black or something. Yeah, but anyways, you gotta look at them long enough. And frequently, especially for a super, super tiny tank like this one, you actually have to crack off or cut off pieces. And then they look like tiny tree trunks. That was the base. And then I used some small rocks. They're probably from the garden. The gardener. They're bigger than pebbles. They're very basic rocks, but I liked it. And the scape that you're looking at, just so you know, It's not complete because there is a little tiny log that has the tiniest Anubias you've ever seen on it, but it kept floating. And so it's hanging out in Clear Bob's tank until it soaks up, and then it'll behave. So follow us on Instagram, because I will be posting pictures once the tank is complete, and maybe if I can get Larry or his brothers to come out to pose.
Now, one thing about the tank too that we want to mention is, again, if you're interested in the tank, last time I checked, Flip Aquatics had this tank as well. They may be out of stock, but it's worth checking out. And it's not a cheap tank. I mean, you would think for a 1/4 gallon tank, trust me, when you look at the overall cost of this tank, it's probably equivalent to setting up a 10-gallon, but it's kind of a novelty thing. The cool thing is the filter is underneath the tank, so where the little stand is, there's a pump, and that pump will push water up into the tank. It goes to the other side and return. It's basically a sump, and then you've got sponge or filter media down there that will go ahead and complete the nitrification process. But it's a really cool all-in-one thing. The light itself is interesting because it doesn't plug into an outlet. It plugs into a USB. The only thing I think you have to be careful about is that light is very strong for such a tiny little volume. So I think one of the changes that I want to make, that I've encouraged Joanna to try to make, is take that light and suspend it and lift it up about 6 to 8 inches above the tank, so we don't have a potential algae issue.
Yeah, I don't want that to happen in the last tank.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna hack up something. It's gonna be fun.
Cool.
So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to check out flipaquatics.com for some really cool stuff. And we'll see you in the next video. Bye.
Bye-bye.